Hi guys, it's me. I'm back from Massachusetts, and there will be a video of my trip coming out later this week, probably on the weekend. I had this cool video idea though, because for my birthday one of my friends got me this book, and it's called The Girl's Guide to Dreams. Ooh. And so it's really actually very cool, and it talks about the symbolism that you experience in dreams. And it's a really cool book for someone who is a writer, because you're like, oh, you know, I want to have these things that have symbolic significance, you know, and when you're getting into like a character's head, and it's cool that to have a book that explains dreams. Usually my dreams are very normal, they're not very strange, they're usually about normal real life situations, but I feel like that those can also carry a lot of symbolism. But I know some people have crazy wacky dreams, so maybe, you know, you want to figure out, you know, what your dreams are about, and this is like the perfect kind of book to do that with. So I thought I'd go through some of like the easy ones. It is in alphabetical order, so we could go through some of the most common things that happen in dreams. So I have a lot of dreams about being abandoned. My dreams are very realistic. Like, abandonment or rejection means that you feel unwanted or unappreciated. And it suggests that some things in your real life could be wrong, like you have a friendship that isn't going so well. You feel like someone might be letting you down, or you feel like you don't really belong anywhere, you know, like in like a certain group. So this book suggests that you should look at your relationships with your family and friends and figure out if that if there are any problems with that, and if that is where the problems lie. But the book also suggests that if you're having dreams about abandonment, it means you might be ready to abandon something, which I think is an interesting twist. You know, you might be ready to give up on a relationship that isn't working, on some kind of experience that you don't want to experience, or some activity that you're no longer enjoying, and move on to something new. So that's another side of the coin, I suppose. If you dream about acne, they say that is like facial distortion. So that can mean that not only that you're worried about how you look, like your appearance, but it could also be that you're worried about the impression you make on other people. You know, like, what do people see when they look at me? You know what I mean? So it's like an appearance thing, but more of like an impression, the other people's impression of you, which I think is pretty cool. They also say it's because you're dealing with hidden emotional turmoil or stress. And it's just like the way you, like, when you're stressed out, you break out. Same thing in your dreams. The dreams is saying you're stressed out, so you dream about breaking out, having pimples. Another one is an alarm clock. When you dream about an alarm clock in your dream, that one's one that comes up in mine often, is that your dream is telling you that there needs to be something that you're doing. You're being a procrastinator, which for me is clear. I procrastinate a lot, so that's definitely one. So it's your unconscious brain, you know, dreams come from the unconscious mind. It's telling you, wake up, get going, do the stuff you gotta do, get on it, don't procrastinate. And then the book does note that it could be a reactive thing, like it's in your dream, like because you heard it in the outside world. So if you hear an alarm clock in your dream, that means your alarm clock is going off in real life. Here's an interesting one. Being barefoot. If you're walking through your dreams barefoot, that can symbolize feeling happy or free. Or they say you could have removed your shoes because you're showing respect to something in your dream. So the shoes are like a sign of like showing respect to someone who's more reverent, more holy, more important, significant, spiritual. So it could be something like that. Or it could be a connectedness to the earth. So like that feeling of peace, that like, ah, yes, I'm on earth. That like meditation, that grounding feel of like, yes. So if you're walking barefoot through your dreams, it could mean something like that. But if you see a bear in your dreams, a little bit different than going barefoot, it could be a sign of danger. The book suggests, are you in a friendship with someone who is cruel or crude? Or is some part of you cruel or crude? And the dream is alerting you to that. A dream bear could symbolize neglect that you feel, and that it might just get worse if you aren't given the proper attention. I'm sure lots of people have parts in their dreams where they are blind. So they say if things are dark, fuzzy, or out of focus in a dream, that is calling your attention to something that's being ignored. So the blindness is you ignoring something that you shouldn't be ignoring. So the book suggests perhaps you are blind to the truth or blinded by love. So I think there can be many different things. Of course, we all know the classic cliff dream. Cliff is a critical point. It's indicating you're at the time of decision. So you gotta make a decision. Same thing with climbing. That means you have high hopes, high goals, and your determination to achieve, but you're gonna face a lot of tough obstacles that you'll have to overcome. If you dream about your own death, it doesn't mean that something bad is going to happen to you. But it could be telling you, hey, what you're doing right now is you're being unhealthy to yourself. You're not practicing proper self-care. You're actually harming yourself in some way, either self-destructive behavior, or you have an unhealthy friendship or an abusive relationship. You're destroying yourself. And it's pointing not to, oh, I'm going to die, but like you are having a difficult time because you're not taking time for yourself. But if you dream about the death of someone else, it doesn't necessarily mean that something bad's going to happen to them, but it means that the person who died, you're neglecting them or treating them badly, and your unconscious mind is trying to alert you to the fact, like, hey, if they disappeared, you would feel really bad about the way you're treating them right now if they just died tomorrow. And it's trying to tell you, like, hey, get on it, fix it, be friends with them again, because you never know what's going to happen, and you would really regret it if the last experiences or memories that you had with this person before they died was like you in a big, in a stupid fight, in a huge blowout, but it was over something dumb. There's also drowning, symbolic of being overwhelmed, feeling like you're sinking, everything's on top of you and you don't know what to do, and you're feeling suffocated, unable to breathe. So it's just this kind of stress all around you. A ghost is an interesting one. They say in the book that if you see a ghost in your dream, it means you're chasing after something that doesn't exist, which I find intriguing. They say, make sure that what you're looking for isn't just an illusion. Make sure that you really have something concrete to go on. They say that you might need to change your way of thinking, or something from the past might be haunting you, but a ghost can also just be your own guilt plaguing you. One of the other particular ones is ice cream, because ice cream can be oh yes, warm, sunshine, happiness, summer, so I'm having a special dessert treat, you know what I mean? But if your ice cream is melting, that symbolizes disappointment. So it really depends on what kind of ice cream you have. Also, jam and jelly. You could think, oh, jam, that's so sweet, it's gonna be a good, pleasant, sweet thing. Or it could be things like an unpleasant situation, like being in a jam, or people shaking their legs are made of jelly. So it could be nervousness, it could be anxiety, it could be stress, or just conflict, consequences, difficulties. I think we've all had the dream, honestly, of when you're naked and you're standing there in the middle of the classroom and you're just naked, and people laugh at you or they just stare at you. So in a dream, it means you're anxious about what we talked about earlier, your appearance, how you appear, the impression other people have of you. It's not so much that people are laughing at you because you're naked. It translates to they're laughing at you because you have these insecurities in your unconscious mind that they're bringing to light in the form of nakedness, because you feel uncomfortable with how you're presenting yourself in day-to-day life. If you dream of sheep, that means you're a passive and docile person, and that means you go along with other people's opinions very easily. Time and trees in this book have a lot of symbolism, just things to do with how you frame your mindset, things to do with vitality in life, and I think those are pretty interesting. Even the universe in here says it can represent very mundane issues, or it could be issues of extreme importance, and it just depends on what's happening in your life. It's very subjective. I think we'll finish off with yellow. Yellow, which is associated with the sun, light, and gold. It symbolizes energy, happiness, peace, or intelligence. But if you see a muddy shade of yellow, like a mustard yellow, it represents cowardice, caution, like the yellow stoplight, or irritableness. Which I love doing color studies on yellow, because yellow is actually a very unique color when it comes down to it, actually. It can be more like an embarrassment, an embarrassment color, rather than that red that we've always heard of blush. I usually use yellow to portray embarrassment. When I want someone who's shy and nervous, I use yellow. But yellow can also be this very cheerful. It depends on what kind of yellow you have. So next time you dream, what I recommend is that you keep a dream journal. To keep a journal on your bedside table, and when you wake up from a dream, write down as much as you can remember from the dream. and then close it. You got to do it right away because you will forget about the dream. That way you can sort of keep a record of your dreams, like the things that happen in them, and then you can keep like a log and be like, oh, you know, I dreamed about this, and like you can even look up online some dream symbolism and see like, oh, I dreamt about this, like what does that mean for me like in my life, or look back on something and say, oh, you know, I kind of understand why I dreamed about that because I was actually having an issue at that time with this, or I was really stressed out that time about that essay that I needed to write, you know, that sort of thing. I think it wouldn't be fair though if I did this whole video and then I didn't talk about one of my dreams. I recently had a dream that I was at prom and just hanging out with my friends, meeting different people. My dreams last for a very long time. And a friend that I had a falling out with came up to me and she had this whole like portfolio folder of all the things that I had ever drawn for her, because I used to draw a lot of deer and things, cute deer and things, and I gave them all to her. And then we had this falling out and she kept everything, probably burned it honestly, because I asked in the dream like, didn't you like burn it? Wouldn't you have gotten rid of it? Because we had like a nasty fight, like falling out type of thing. And she was like, no, I saved it because like I want to try again, I want to be friends again. I think it's pretty clear what my dream means. It's me not being over like the fact that our friendship ended so nastily, me wishing that we could still be friends and knowing that that's not possible, which is why I questioned it so much in the dream and why it seemed like such an unbelievable thing, and that I just want that easy companionship with her, but I can't have that anymore. So yeah, sorry for ending that on like a little sad note, but I'd love if you left like some of your own analysis on your dreams in the comments below, because I love hearing about other people's dreams, because they always have crazy dreams. Like people will be like, oh yeah, I was swimming with some mermaids, or like, oh yeah, I was just astride a unicorn. Like they have such wildly fantastical dreams. I don't have dreams like that. My dreams don't have magic. My dreams don't have flying ponies, okay? Like I don't have anything cool. Like I just dream about normal stuff, like I'm taking a test or I'm going through a day at school, and then I wake up to realize it was all a dream and I have to actually go to school that morning. Like that's so annoying. Anyway, thanks guys for watching, and I hope this might have shed light on some of your dreams, some of the common symbols that occur in your dreams. Bye guys!